Hi, I'm Eric Palilunas, the chef at Trident Booksellers and Cafe, and I'm going to make our sweet potato pancakes with mini marshmallows today. So I gathered all my ingredients here, and here's the sweet potatoes. I already have them cooked here, but how I cook them is I peeled them and cooked them whole. I didn't cut them up. I put them in cold water and brought it to a boil. You want to start the potatoes with in cold water, because if you start them in boiling water, the outside will cook and the inside will still be raw. So it's best to start it slowly in cold water and gently bring the temperature up. And then once those are cooked, totally fine to cook them till they're falling apart, mashed, because we're going to mash them up here. So cool them. And then I brought them here, and so here they are. So the way you make these pancakes are you have a dry mix and a wet mix. You mix them separately, and then at the end you bring them together. So I'm going to start with the wet right now. So I'm going to take a mixing bowl and take the potatoes, and I'm going to have to mash those up right now because that won't blend evenly into the... So just take my whisk here, sort of mash them up, just like that. You want to get it really mashed up. You don't want any chunks of potato in the pancake. So make sure it's kind of mashed up nice. Make sure you get everything in there. So then, more wet, I got my eggs here. You can just put those right in there. You don't want any shell in there. Okay, so the milk, there's the wet batter. So now I'm going to combine those. You want to make sure everything's pretty well incorporated in here. You know, incorporating the eggs and getting everything, you know, one batter. Looks about right. In a separate bowl, you take the flour, and we're going to do the baking powder. We're going to take the seasoning right in here, nutmeg, salt, and cinnamon. And that's the dry. And the reason why you want to mix them separately is because you need the baking powder to mix well with the flour and the ingredients, so everything's incorporated, so it's not one big clump of baking powder in a corner of the wet. So you want to incorporate everything. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that up. Best tools are your hands. So now I'm going to bring them both together, the wet and the dry. So I like to pour the dry into the wet. You can go ahead and add your butter now. Okay. So now we're going to blend them together and make our pancake batter. Okay. Now everything's nice and incorporated together here in the pancake batter. We're going to get a non-stick pan hot, almost to the smoking point. Just a little butter in here, brown it up and add some flavor. And I'm going to go ahead and add the batter. You can do this with anything. A ladle is what I'm using right now. Nice thick batter. Just spread it around there evenly. And now is the time to sort of watch the heat. Turn it down as needed. You don't need to have it hot, or you don't need to have it too cold. You need to watch it. If you look closely, you can see it's starting to cook on the bottom here, and this is the wet batter still here, so that means it's pretty close to being cooked. You can see it, the bottom's cooked. So I would say now is a good time to flip it. I'm just going to flip it like this. You can see it's nice and golden brown, nice and puffed up from the baking powder. When it's getting close to being done, that's when I like to put my mini marshmallows on top. Mini marshmallows and sweet potatoes are a great combination. It makes a great pancake. So you kind of just press them in there and they'll start melting to the pancake. So if you take a look, there's nothing wet on the edges, so it's done. The pancake is cooked. And that's our sweet potato pancake with mini marshmallows on them.